It's Thursday evening, and I'm going to get back to the guitar tonight. I started level sanding the guitar after the first 10 sessions of French polish. I started about, I think it was Saturday night, and I haven't been working on it constantly, but just here and there I do some more level sanding because it does take a little bit of time, and due to the hot weather lately and some laziness on my part, I kind of took my time on it, but anyway, I think I'm going to be starting to apply the French polish again tonight. I finished the level sanding yesterday. For some reason, level sanding the top takes me more time than level sanding the back or the sides. The back took the shortest amount of time to do just because it's flat. The sides took a little bit longer. I took at least 2 days or more to do the sides because the curves of the sides kind of make it a little more challenging to level sand than the flat back. The top, however, took me all day, well, not all day, but a good part of yesterday, because the top, its grain structure is such that it's not, when you put the French polish shellac coats on, it sinks into the grain, the vertical grain, more, and so your surface of the shellac coats is not really as flat as the shellac coats on the back and the sides are. And so that took a bit more time. There's Hannah. She's barking at a dog. These two little tiny dogs that walk by the house every evening. Anyway, so the top tends to take me more time to flatten down. But I think I'm going to start applying the next bodying sessions of the shellac. I'm going to start tonight. But I got the surface fairly flat. Again, you don't really have to get all the pores flattened out, but just so you get a nice silky smooth finish and pretty flat. Just a good surface on which to add French polish coats. So here's the back. I've had this back level sanded for quite a few days. Here are the sides. And as you can see, there are still some shiny spots, but that's okay. Here's the other side. See, you can see in the light there. But it's still a nice, silky, smooth surface, and that's what you want. Just something nice and smooth for the succeeding coats to get applied onto. And you can't really tell in the light, but here's the top. Trying to show, well, you can kind of see how flat the top is in the light here. So I'm ready. So what I'll do is shut this off now, set my camera on the tripod, and show you how I continue on in the next bodying sessions of applying the shellac. And I did the same to the neck. The same level sanding. The neck is fairly easy because it goes on so smoothly anyway that there's not much work that you have to do to level sand it. Okay, so I'll shut this off, set the camera on the tripod, and show you a little bit of starting to apply the next bodying sessions. All right, I'm ready to begin. When you start this second bodying session, what you do, you kind of want to start really fresh, and so I have added some more shellac. It was down to about halfway. Some 2-pound cut medium dark blonde shellac, and then when you do that, you want to add again some more walnut oil to the mixture, because you never want to have less walnut oil in the mixture than you had in the previous mixture. Tom Bills calls it fat over lean. You want to always have more oil on top of previous layers of oil, because if you put a harder finish over a layer that has less oil, or more oil rather, yeah, if you put a harder finish with less oil over a layer that has more oil, then the bottom layer will be still flexible while the top layer will be less flexible, and that can cause checking or kind of cracking because the top layer does not flex along with the bottom layer or something like that. But anyway, you want to make sure that you always have at least the same amount of oil or more oil over the previous layer. And so what I did was I added some more shellac, 2-pound cut, and then I added more drops of walnut oil into the mixture. Okay, and then I just shook it up and strained it. You want to strain your shellac to make sure that, you know, it's all kind of no pieces of gunk in there or anything from all the previous sessions. And same thing with the alcohol, not as big a problem, but you want to strain it through a strainer. And so I just take a funnel and put a coffee filter in the funnel and strain it through. And so it's all clear and clean. And olive oil, you don't have to do anything with that. Okay, and I have my blotting paper towel. My paper towel that I'm going to use to hold the guitar as I'm French polishing to avoid fingerprints. And then what you want to do is start with a fresh pad. And so I have a fresh square of t-shirt material here, and I have some cheesecloth. And so what I'm going to do is cut the cheesecloth, oh, maybe about 8 inches piece here, and it's kind of triple folded when you get it in the package. And so there are several layers here anyway. And so I have a piece about that big. And then what I want to do is fold it into thirds that way, and then fold it in half that way. That's what I do. And then this single edge, folded edge there, is what I fold into that kind of paper airplane shape, like that. and then you fold this part over. And what you end up with is that kind of diamond shape. Okay, and that's what you put inside the t-shirt and fold that over. But before you do that, what you want to do is, since this hasn't been used at all, you want to condition it a little bit, which means just put some alcohol, kind of soften it up, put alcohol in there. And again, here's my newly mixed, I want to shake it, walnut oil shellac mixture, and put some shellac in there, kind of blot it out on the paper towel, as you can see there. And I'll put some more alcohol there, kind of get the pad with a little bit of stuff on it, and set it into the t-shirt, and just kind of fold the t-shirt over it. And then I kind of twist it around so I have something to grab onto, and yet it keeps that basic kind of pointed shape. And as you use it, it starts to form, you know, that shape and stay into that shape. Okay, now, so I'm going to start on the back, which I always start. One thing you want to do again is make sure it's all clean, so I'll use my Roncinol, basically it's just naphtha. And get a piece of paper towel, shoot that on there, and I just want to make sure that my surface here is nice and clean. And also when you're doing it, you can kind of see any spots that might be problem areas, you know, where it's, you might have some, I don't know, deep pits or anything like that, but this is all good. Okay, so I've cleaned that off. Got my pad here, and I'm going to start applying finish again. And so again, I'll put some shellac. I put a couple of globs of alcohol on there. Put a little dot of oil on there, olive oil. Pat it on my hand after I've blotted it on the paper towel, and begin. So I tend to always start on the lower bout. I don't know why. Okay, and more of the same. And so just circular motions. And it goes on nice and smoothly now that you've got that nice level finish or level sanded surface. And again, I tend to do this after I've done some swirls. I do my straight strokes. Put some shellac on there, put some alcohol, put some olive oil, pat it on my hand, and here we go some more. But it goes on so smoothly, it's so nice after you've level sanded. And so the next coats sessions will be going on nice and smoothly, nice and thin, not putting it on heavy, and doing the straight strokes. And after you've done the level sanding, and you start to put the shellac back on there. At first it doesn't you know, go on thick or get real shiny. Well, actually, as I'm burnishing this with the straight strokes, it does bring up the shine right away. But it is going on very, very thinly. That's what you want. You don't want big, heavy coats of shellac. But it goes on so much more smoothly. I don't know if you can see. See right there in the light? And that's just from a thin application. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's good to see the shine come back up. Every so often I shake the bottle too, to make sure that that walnut oil is well mixed and dispersed in there. And it takes a little while for the pad to feel just right as it gets conditioned. I'm going to do this lower third here. Haven't done my figure eights yet. Maybe I should start doing that. I tend to go counterclockwise with my circular motions. Maybe for a right-handed person that's the most, I don't know why, it just feels right doing it that direction rather than clockwise. I'm not sure why. But again, doing my straight strokes, I don't want to have those swirls in there. I just find it works better for me if I get rid of those swirls right away. And I just love doing this, the burnishing, because it just smooths everything out. And as I'm doing this, I am pressing pretty hard. You go fairly quickly and you press pretty hard. The less shellac you have on the pad, you need to kind of press a bit hard to get it out of the pad. But also pressing really hard helps to burnish the surface even better, get the swirl marks out. And once again, with a dry pad, and I've done this basically the lower bout, I can go around and hit the corners. Because again, you don't want to have drippy shellac on the corners. All you need is just a little tiny bit. Because little by little the corners will build up the sharp edges. Okay, so that's what I'll be doing for the next, I don't know how many days. I'll do probably again maybe 10 sessions. We'll have to see. You just kind of can tell when you've done enough. After the next sessions, the 10 sessions or whatever I end up doing, then you wait some more. I forget how many days you wait, maybe 5. And then at that point you do a wet sanding, which is paper, I think it's 3200 or 3600 sandpaper with minerals, spirits, and olive oil as a lubricant. At that point, you don't do it dry at that point. And at that point, you're almost getting done, because after you've done that, then you really only put on a few more sessions of French polish. And again, it's you just kind of, you can never tell exactly how many sessions you will end up doing. Everyone is kind of different. Okay, so I just love doing this. Okay, let me show you what I've got so far. So let's see if I can hit the light. There you go. So kind of weird, I'm looking at the camera screen and trying to shine the light at the same time onto the surface. But you can kind of see the difference between this section with just a thin layer of the shellac on it versus that level sanded surface. See that dullness versus the shininess. Okay, so that's the next few days I'll be doing this. Maybe 2 sessions a day. So maybe 5 days or so of adding more French polished shellac. Okay, that's it. Catch you in the next video.